The ECC limited playmat, the regular playmat, and the field centers are in stock. If you use code ECC15 on my website, you will get the chance to save on a bundle of 2 or more of these items. If you're just getting a regular field center, $20 straight out of the bat. No, it's a lot cheaper than a lot of the other competition out there. But I will leave a link down below so you guys can pick up your awesome stuff. Let's go talk about frickin' Small World, shall we? 33.8% of you guys have not smashed the other crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get to 100K. I want to talk about this whole little Small World hype that has been building out of this weekend's LCS, because what I'm hearing from like the general populace is, oh my god, you should have known that this card was going to be good someday. Now is the time. I've been looking at regional numbers for the last couple weeks, and granted, regionals aren't on Dueling Book. Yeah, players have the chance to pick up all the cards they need. Money becomes a lump sum in terms of paper Yu-Gi-Oh! But out of the pack LCS, we saw that, oh, Small World kind of took people by storm. Oh my god, Invoked was playing Small World. Oh my god, did you see that Lyrical List? It's playing Small World. But here's the thing. Looking at those results, it almost feels like a different format, because, money is not an option. Everybody plays based on the Dueling Book simulator, and there's all that. Now, I'm not saying that that's the only key reason for this success. I just like to throw in a little bit of variance here. So to start this discussion here, I just want to say that, yeah, I'm excited to see that Small World turned the format on its head. All right, it is interesting to see that in a format where we were it felt like things were kind of starting to get figured out a little bit. Looking at the breakdown for that event yesterday, though, which we covered, it was very nice to see that the meta that we had been projecting to see looks like it got crushed in an instance. We had players out here with a game plan, all the way from Invoked to Small World and Bird. So Small World, reveal one monster card in your hand. Choose one monster from your deck that has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level, attack, or defense. All right? None of this has 2 of the... No. All right? My friend actually just got held up on Dueling Book tonight in 15 minutes, by the way, because his opponent was arguing with him about Gamma and Driver being cards that you could use off a Small World. And they were like, well, it's Psychic. And it's like, well, they also share the no defense value, because 0 and 0 on the same card also would make them also have more than one thing in common. So you can't do that with Small World. All right. So banish one card from your, reveal one monster, and then choose one from your deck that has that same type, or same something amongst all traits. And then add from your deck to your hand one monster that has exactly one of the same type, attribute, level as the monster chosen in your deck, and banish the card from the deck face down. Alright, so as long as you can meet these requirements of having the multi-dimensional window of only one type amongst what you're doing, this card becomes pretty good. Problem is, it is still an inherent neg one, as this card itself still forces you to banish a card. So that's kind of the first thing that players were initially looking at this card and going, well, you know, in a world where like -1s kind of hurt you, you know, yeah, the power of this card is like a generic rota across the board. And then you have the other half of the argument here for the player base. It's like, well, you know, we've looked at this OCG for so long, and looking at the OCG, it was always kind of Rogue that kind of took advantage of this card. All right, like in the TCG, I think the most interesting things that we've had come up with this were like Madolche, because you kind of start getting into that very interesting category of, well, Lancia is fairy. You have this very weird interaction window with all these like different fairies that you can kind of use to your advantage. So in the Rogue category, this card seemed very good. But come out of the LCS here, okay, so the first thing that we see here was what? Dinotherium was seeing play in the Lyrical List deck. Well, that was actually kind of cool. I actually quite like that. That was probably the coolest thing that I saw out of the weekend was, okay, hey, you know what? Ooh, Dinotherium. Okay, we got our wind interactions going on. That means we can get to our Wing Beast. Okay, that was actually, to me, that stuck around. That was some pretty good frickin' innovation. All right, and then we kind of start tripping on down into the rest of the format here, and then you hit whatever we were trying to do with I ask you guys here, like, wholeheartedly. All right, we know that Invoked was kind of a sleeping deck. All right, but the thing was, with Flundereese running around, we were like, oh no, like, what can we do with Flunder? Oh no. Well, the fact that duelists out here were trying to, like, even play this card in some of these other weird decks. Like, okay, Adamancipator, sure, that was a good one. I also like that. But Adamancipator is more rogue at that point, right? Like, tier 2, so it's the same thing in the middle shade category here. We're using this already for decks to kind of boost their consistency to another playable level. That's what you want to see, right? And then we had out here, we had Cam playing on the pack account, where you got to see Small World in frickin' Sword Soul. So once again, okay, so we got Birds. We have it seeing play in... I'm just taking a moment to process this, ladies and gentlemen. Even seeing this in Sword Soul, I saw this in Sword Soul, I was like, guys, we're really doing this. Like, this is the level of we're trying to push this card off to the market at this point in time. It's like, yay! But I still don't think it was worth it. The fact that people are out here also trying to push this in Invoked now, and kind of that one's very interesting to me. I'm not sure how I necessarily feel about them also trying to be like, I mean, the recent innovation that we had with Invoked was Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. Like, let's not count that one out too. But trying to play Small World and Invoked too, outside of the LCS, I'm not too sure on that one, Chief. That just doesn't feel correct to me at the end of the day. I feel like we're just trying to bulk down on the Small World hype at that point, just to be like, oh yeah, see, I can play it in Invoked. All right, I understand that it did top the LCS in 11th place in Lonely Warriors deck, but I feel like at that point, the just Destroy Phoenix Enforcer Turbo in terms of warping the format just feels better. All right, a little sub note here for this LCS too. The fact that Invoked with Destroy Phoenix Enforcer was the fact that two big things came out of this LCS, in addition to, Small World just being like the second coming of whatever the heck we were expecting here, but the fact that Destroy Phoenix Enforcer was just asserting its dominance with the Winda package. God, in terms of the format, like, I don't ever want to be dealing with a Makaba, a Winda, or a Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, or that combination of those three on the board. That's freaking sickening. All right, like, just having to deal with that doesn't feel right. All right, and I feel like the fact that players have kind of figured that out at this point, that this works, that's fine. But once again, I want to shift the discussion back over here to paper. You look at paper right now, and Flunder's everywhere. All right, like, I'm not going to lie. After getting all these regional results this weekend, holy freaking crap, man. The amount of people that have just been pushing Flunder. All right, I don't know how well Invoked. Winda does nothing at all. All right, yeah, Destroy Phoenix Enforcer does a lot to Birds, yes, as long as you can kind of get that grind game going and get that set up. But my problem is the other half of the deck just isn't very good. And the fact that that deck is gaining more play in physical paper in the rogue category kind of puts me off a little bit from seeing, Invoked and, so forth doing a little bit better. I think the Small World build will probably gain some level of popularity. I'm pretty for sure on that. The other one that I think will fall off after this weekend will probably end up being I don't think we're going to see any traction on Small World in Sword Soul. I think for the most part, Sword Soul is going to be in that really fragile position going forward here. And just once players kind of figure it out, I mean, it is what it is at this point. Small World, I guess, can help certain situations, but I feel like at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough. So, conclusion out of the metagame here, and looking at more important things here. Higher tier events, yeah, sure. Small World can probably see a lot of play in the Tri-Brigade Lyricalist deck. I actually think that's a huge improvement. Playing this in Invoked, I think, is the fail. I don't think we're going to see a lot of consistency from that. And out of this weekend's events, I think that Invoked DP will be another deck that we'll see. It'll be another face you'll see in competition. But because, like, players are more geared towards Rogue right now at regional level events, I don't think this is going to stick really too much. And with Brave right on the horizon and with Brothers of Legend right on the horizon here as well, we're going to have to wait and see how things go. But I think right now it's just another face in the crowd, and I don't think spending $50-$60, I'm glad they went back down to 40, but that just feels like too much to me. So guys, leave a comment about how much you guys think. Smash the other crap out, subscribe, and see you guys want to see more awesome content. See your beautiful faces back here later, and there's some more cool awesome content. Peace out. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out Vanquill40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by Vanquill40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out imcogames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.